All right, hey everyone, Aaron here. We'll go ahead and get started. I know people are probably still coming in, so Patty, if you wouldn't mind keeping an eye on the waiting room. But thanks for jumping on. We'll jump in here to the agenda. We got a pretty light one today. Just four quick things to talk about. I really just have screenshots. There's not too much to click around and show kind of in real time or in our demo environment. So it should be pretty brief, but as always, feel free to put questions in the chat or come off mute if preferred. But we'll go ahead and look at the first thing here, which is just a minor change to the employer's view of applicants on their job posting. So this would be any of their applicants that had applied via resume drop or via system or via email. So those are the two application methods that would kind of store them as applicants against the posting and have the employer be able to view them. There's always been this sort by here that's highlighted where they could sort by name, alpha sort in both kind of orders, but there's two new sort by options there, and it's all based on application date. So recent applicants would be show me the folks who have applied most recently and sort in that order, and the date applied would be the reverse. So they can sort by who applied first to most recent or vice versa. So pretty simple change there, no configuration needed. This is just on by default. The next is going to be another employer-facing change that does not require configuration. So this is also on by default. And this is really only around those of you who have events that have a cost or fee associated with employers being able to register. So in this example on screen, this is a multi-company event, so like a career fair or a networking night or any type of event where multiple companies can attend and there's a fee associated. So I've highlighted the two new sections there, and this is kind of the main grid view or card stack we've called them. So I'm an employer now looking at my events tab basically, and I see this multi-company event, and I see that I have an outstanding $100 balance under this first highlighted box for invoice. And then at the bottom, I have two new shortcuts. One is to the invoice, which just generates a PDF, and the other is to submit payment. So if I do have an outstanding balance and I click submit payment, it's going to take me to kind of the cart screen to confirm my payment. And there's a lot of different payment methods: check, PO, cash, credit card. But that submit payment screen is going to drive them to finish that out, and it's primarily going to be related to credit card payments. And again, the invoice is just going to generate a PDF. So again, no configuration. Those fields are only going to show if they're associated with an event and have, that have fees associated with it. So minor change, but just a little bit easier for them to identify that and get to payments. Okay, now we get into the last two here, which do require some level of configuration, pretty minor, especially this first one is just a setting change, but there's a new setting related to this, and we've had this full-time offer setting historically, so I'll kind of explain what they do and then mention the new internship one. So there's the notion of OCR status. Some of you may call it system status, and historically this first setting of when accepting a full-time offer, change the OCR or system status to X. That's based on the student utilizing the employment reporting module in your system and submitting an accepted full-time offer. And there's a setting to say when they do that, what should their OCR status change to? And that's normally done to, let's say, take away their permissions to the interview module or maybe even job postings because they've submitted an accepted full-time offer. They're not seeking any longer, right? They've told you that they've accepted an offer, so there's no need for them to continue accessing recruiting portions of your system. So that's what it's been there for historically. We never had the same setting pertaining to internship. So whether it was a full-time offer or internship offer, I think they both kind of fell within the same setting. Well, now we've split that out to where you could have those who are accepting an internship offer have their OCR status automatically updated to something different than you would have it updated for somebody submitting a full-time offer. So again, may be relevant to you, may not. It's really going to revolve around A, do you use our employment reporting, our students submitting offers, and B, do you want to automatically change their OCR or system status based on them submitting that type of offer, an accepted offer. So if you do and you're interested in these settings, then just let us know what you would like these settings to be, and we can just make those changes for you pretty easily. And the last thing here to cover is a CSS or styling change in our system. And this is really just around those who use not only the advising module, but the advising blocks module. So this does not impact the legacy advising, the module that we've had historically. And it's just because there's no concept of an add appointment button for students. They sign up for individual slots versus going this path with advising blocks. It's a little bit of a different workflow. But this screenshot here, you can see the add appointment button before this change had looked like this review all advisors button next to it, right? So it's the primary theme text. In this case, it's a maroon color, and the background is just the same color as the page. So this new ability just lets us make some styling changes. And you can see in this example, this is MIT. We just used their primary theme color as the background and made the font white and bolded that font. And the concept here obviously is to just make that button stand out a little bit more, make it a little bit more easily accessible for students. So I think it's just, again, a styling change, just a small quality of life feature, but we did do this in the code to where we can make flexible changes. So again, if you use advising and the advising blocks module and want your add appointment button that students see at the start of the workflow to find appointments to be styled like this or some type of styling, then let us know what you would like, and our support team can kind of go in to your specific system file and make that change for you. So with that, like I said, it's a pretty light one, this release. There was a few other features in there, normal bug fixes, defect fixes, but those are really the ones I wanted to call. So if you do have any questions, again, feel free to come off mute, throw them into chat. The recording will be up on the partner support page per usual, and we will have this again next month and should see a handful of other features coming up to chat about. So
Aaron, I do have one comment. This is Dave from GradLeaders. Hi, everybody. You may be asking yourself, or you may want to ask Aaron, hey, Aaron, why was the list so short this month? We have a project internally, selfishly, I guess, but our marketing website was quite old. And more importantly, it was on a old platform that's no longer going to be supportable. So we have to transition our marketing website to another platform. And as a result, our development team had to do a fair amount of work around re-engineering the e-commerce functionality for our website, where recruiters can acquire multi-post jobs and things of that nature. So that was a big part of our development effort this past month, and that explains the short list. Just wanted to share that change is coming. I think the new website should be rolling out in June.
Yep, thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. Yeah, I guess that's definitely helpful to know. And yeah, if you guys ever want to question something like that, then yeah, feel free. We're obviously transparent about what we're doing from a development standpoint. So yeah, Dave might have proactively mentioned what some of y'all might have been thinking.
It's Paul at Booth. I just had a general question. Do you envision doing a beta refresh anytime within the next couple of months?
We haven't discussed it internally. If schools would find it beneficial, it sounds like you think it might be beneficial, Paul. I mean, it is something we can do periodically.
I'm just thinking it's a timing issue that, if you don't have anything major to do, we get a year's worth of data in there. If you start ramping up something more intense, then it gets harder to schedule, and then that gets pushed back months.
That's fair. Yeah, let us talk to the team about that.
Yeah, I think it was last May, Paul, that we did it. So I think it's about time. But yeah, we'll bring it up. Shouldn't be a problem.
Aaron, I have a question.
Hey, Julia.
Hi. About the new sorts for applications.
Yep.
The one that is recent applicants, is that basically everybody, but just sort of in a reverse order, or is it just only a set number, like the past week or whatever?
It is everybody, but that sorts most recent applicant downward. So so your top result, in this case, there's 24, right? And this also the first out of the 24 would be who applied the most recent, and then the date applied would be the reverse. I remember Scott making a note, like trying to figure out the best way to name that. So I mean, suggestions welcome, but yeah, that's what it is. It doesn't take away any portion of the total applicants. It's just which way is it going to sort.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay. Any other questions come up, or those two things that require configuration? Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or want to make any changes. Other than that, I will end it there and wish you guys a good rest of the month. We'll see you in May, and hopefully you guys start enjoying the spring weather. Take care.